Yeah, so I mean, I would love I would love to I think what we have is a whole lot of questions, and we'd love to sort of like hear more about this site and explore. And it's really interesting because so much stuff has popped up on your Instagram feed and that shows things happening in the surrounding landscape. And I would love to hear how the sort of like art programming here is being kind of synthesized into the whole sort of like complex.
Yeah, do you want to do a walking talk so I can show you a little bit?
That would be amazing. That would be perfect, I think.
And then we can come back inside.
That,
is everyone comfortable being outside? Yes. Okay.
That'd be great.
Do a little walkabout, and then we'll end up back in here then.
Okay, that'd be wonderful. Is that okay? That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. We'll start over these picnic tables. Maybe we'll sit down for just a second and I can kind of give you the intro to the space. And then I'll walk you over to our...
Thank you.
Where are you guys all coming from? Oh, sorry.
Go for it.
I was just asking where you're coming from.
So we're coming from SUNY New Paltz as an institution.
So you're in class there?
Yeah, so this is Contemporary Ideas in Sculpture class. There's graduate students and advanced undergraduates.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thanks so much for coming.
Oh, so thrilled to be here.
Let's head over to these picnic tables. We can sit for just a second, and I can kind of give you the rundown.
Okay, great.
There were picnic tables over here?
There's a few.
Are there some left?
Oh, are these?
Kind of are.
Oh, I see. They're not full. But, oh, there they are. Okay.
Moved over a bit, but we can, yeah, maybe it's there. Or we can kind of gather.
It's up to you.
We can go.
We'll follow your lead.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. A little under the weather.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Don't know what's going on, but
Oh, no.
happy to be here. And canceled my first 2 classes today, but this one we couldn't skip. This is too good.
Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
If you want to just like sit for a second. So I'm Tara. I'm the gallery director and curator here, and I pitched the idea of the barns to the development company that owns 500 acres of this IBM campus in December of last year. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves quickly, just so I know?
It's a great idea.
Who is here? If you want to just tell me your name, why you're in this class.
Why don't we start over here and we'll just work our way around like that.
My name's Michael. I'm a sculpture MFA student.
Very cool.
Yeah, from Colorado.
Oh, where's that?
Tell you that?
Nice. My family's in Vail now.
Oh.
Yes, that's where I get to go.
Nice.
Beautiful. There's a big mushroom festival there.
There is.
Yeah.
I make a lot of mushroom art. So.
Do you? Very cool. Then you'll like one of the farmers in our film is a forager. It's John Michelodi from Catskill Mushrooms.
Oh.
Film guy. Do you know him? Anyway, it's very cool. It's the last film there. Okay, nice to meet you.
I'm Hassan. I'm a ceramics postbac. Yeah, and I'm from Oklahoma.
Lovely.
And I'm Michael.
Yes.
I'm Joe. I'm a sculpture MFA, and I'm from New York, so familiar with the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been here before?
I have not actually. I didn't know this even existed, to be honest.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
Although you're really sort of like getting the word out.
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
I'm glad
it's
to hear
pretty evident.
that. That is great to hear.
Hi, I'm Avery. I'm a ceramics MFA from North Carolina. Hi, I'm Jolie. I'm a sculpture BFA. I'm from around Midtown.
Lovely. I just came down from there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a beautiful drive.
I'm Rita. I'm a thesis here in the elementary program.
Marilena, I'm in the BFA program. And I guess that I took this class because it was offered.
And required.
It was required. I'm not sure if you want.
I think it's part of your BFA track, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's
It was a good
we could be honest about that, yeah.
about that, but it's an interesting topic, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm Emily. Hi. I'm a sculpture MFA. It's very fun. Excited to have these conversations. Learn about it. A whole bunch of these conversations.
Very So I'll just give you a quick rundown, and then maybe you guys can ask me questions as we go along.
Be great.
So I don't just download a ton of information on you. So the real estate development firm is called National Resources, and they bought up a couple hundred acres of this campus. This was a microchip factory for IBM. In its prime, they had almost 30,000 employees here. Now there's only 2,000 IBM employees.
Oh, so
And
there is still an IBM functioning.
There is, and they no longer own the space that they're in. They now rent it.
Huh?
From, it's either the development company I work for, or the other one that's here, Global Foundries. And a ton of the buildings that are here are completely sterilized. They're just empty. There's like massive buildings that are just full of cubicles that have been just left. Some, they're like baby pictures from the 80s, like still stuck in there. We found someone's lunch.
Whoa.
So they've really just kind of left it all. A lot of the buildings, like the one we're connected to right here, is full of the generators and the machinery that they were using at the time to make the microchips, and they just like completely left it all. So it's all still here intact and filling up my education space at the top floor. But because it's so heavy, there's these huge generators. You have to like raise all the money to be able to get it off the top floor of this building in order to turn it into a arts education, arts residency space. We had our first artist in residence this summer, Athena Latosha. She makes large-scale earth etchings. Look her up, she's a brilliant artist. She made the work that just went into the PS1 New York show here. Yeah, she has an opening at Brick in Brooklyn where she has just one work up in the whole gallery. It's absolutely stunning. And then New Jersey, I think it's called the Art Center of New Jersey. Don't quote me on that. But she was making the work here. So we literally dismantled 200 cubicles, like de-wired them and everything so she could lay out her art here. So until we're able to raise the funds to just take all the equipment off that top floor, we're just gonna work around with artists need space. She lost her space due to COVID, and kind of try to accommodate that. The vision for the barns came out of that development company wanting to do something community oriented and knew they wanted to allot the foundation they'd already laid for the space that's the gallery to something for the community. And literally like on a PowerPoint, pitch them the idea of the barns, which is art at the nexus of food, farming, ecology, and sustainability. And I did this in December, and the president of the company said, okay, let's do it, like follow your vision, and funded the construction of the building as well as the programs that are existing right now. We have three-prong approach, which is going to be developed over a period of time. We just opened August 27th, so everything is kind of in process. But we'll have exhibition, education, and then empowerment, which is our residency. So exhibition will be in the 3,200 square foot gallery space, which is up to museum quality standards, so we can get shows from all over. We actually have a show with Bard in the Smithsonian next summer, which is really exciting, called To Be Named. And that'll always be, the show that's in there will always be in some ways concerned with food, farming, ecology, and sustainability. At first when I was like pitching this, I was a little worried it'd be kind of narrow or repetitive. Turns out so many people are trying to think about this, making work around this, wanting to talk about it, need to be talking about it. So in the time between really starting to curate this first show and developing what our organization was going to be, we are a 501c3. I emailed and then had interviews, you being one of them, with almost 70 people throughout the Hudson Valley at different arts organizations, arts institutions, just asking like, what do you want to see? What do you need? We already have such a robust cultural landscape here in the Hudson Valley, and I didn't want anything that would feel like mission competition. I also didn't want to be like a super fine art island like that already exists here and is done way better than a writer, I'm an MFA poet, could do than like say Dia Beacon. And that kind of solidified that this idea of working in this very niche space would have legs and was worth kind of investing in. And yeah, this is our first show. Like I said, my thinking around it was to make it really accessible to people, but also elevated, making sure that the quality of work stayed really high, but that it could highlight local artists as well as, say, an artist from Mexico City or an artist from the UK, someone from California. So there's a pretty healthy mix of ages represented, of mediums, of thinking and kind of process. And yeah, that's our first show. Any questions at this juncture? Any thoughts, thinkings, comments?
I mean, that was good stuff. I have a lot of questions, but but I'd like to open it up to these guys first, if anybody has anything.
How long are each exhibition kind of period?
3 to 4 months. So we're hoping for a year. That's kind of the dream right now, and that's what next year looks to be. It's going to be for a year. So yeah, 3 to 4 months, enough time for people to be able to come and see it and to build some programming around it was really what the hope is, and to be able to kind of offer real educational opportunities around each of the shows. Artist talks, yes, but also stuff like we had a mushroom walk. We did spore printing. We did flower sculpting. We had a art making workshop where we made fruit that you could be found throughout the show out of marzipan, and then we dyed it and colored it. So like doing really interactive things that on the surface maybe kind of just like playful and fun, but like stimulating really interesting conversations while it's happening.
Gotcha.
So the long answer to 3 to 4 months.
That was good.
Is this like your outdoor space?
It is the development companies, but it's not the barns. So the barns is, the 501c3 is literally just the exhibition space right now. Okay. The dream is to have the top floor of this building as well, but again,
Like the whole building?
Just the top floor.
I meant, but like it looks long.
Yeah, it's quite large, but again, it's completely filled with defunct equipment.
Got it.
That we would have to be able to take out, but it's a really beautiful space. This building right here is actually bomb-proof until they cut out the window here and the 2 up there to let light into here. And it also can implode without collapsing. So it's like really, really crazy construction kind of block. And the top floor has the air pressure generators that made it so it could implode. So it's just really heavy, old machinery from like, I don't know the time that the machines were being built. This part of the building of the campus was in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
Being made. But that said, there's these gorgeous roof access points, and because it has to be able to hold that machinery, it's weight bearing to an extreme level. So you can like go out on these terraces and like look out over the rolling hills, and it's really stunning. So my dream would be able to open those up, and I think having that would be like a really nice addition to artist studios and this like big open education space that places like the Artifact, do you guys know Artifact in Poughkeepsie?
Yeah.
Places like that could rent out for like their summer camps and that sort of thing, and then really have this gorgeous outdoor space. And then the pie in the sky dream is that there's also on that side of the building another one of these weight-bearing open roofs that are totally flat, to have a farm up there.
Great.
That's like the real dream. I had a woman from Common Grounds, which is a great farm in Newburgh that does really cool initiatives around food justice and providing farmers a link to school systems to kind of bridge that gap. And she came here and we were looking at like what the feasibility of a farm up there was, and she was pretty positive about it. So that would kind of be the dream.
Gotcha.
Any other thoughts? If not, I'll take you quickly over across the street to where our large-scale installation is going to go.
Well, while we're still sitting, so you pitched this to the development company, and were there other people pitching ideas at the same time?
I'm not totally sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't really aware of what was going on during the whole interview process. But that was kind of part of me getting the job, was this idea for the space.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it is a really exciting mission. and it sounds like you did a lot of research interviewing people, but it sounds like you also stepped into the concept. Like you were just like, this is kind of where I want to go with it. Let me sort of test this out and see if this is indeed. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so I was, again, a writer. So I was coming up with a narrative. I was trying to find a story as to what I would do with this 3,200 square foot chunk of slab of concrete that had not even walls yet. It was just the I-beams. And being very concerned with place and history, I was thinking a lot about the fact that this used to be farmland here before it was an IBM campus. So the barns came a lot out of this idea of returning to the farmland it used to be. But then also they already had a few of these manufacturers and producers with their work here on the campus.
Yeah.
So the brewery, Sloop Brewing, was already producing beer here. The tortilla factory had opened. More Good, the beverage place, they were doing that here. So I was trying to think about what would synthesize those different things and bring it together to create a more holistic approach to this space. And also they kind of had this dream of like what it would be like to have a food hall that created a public presence for the people that have their production here, because besides Sloop, no one, James, no one else has any sort of retail or public facing presence. And that is where this idea of working with food and farming and ecology and sustainability came out of. And then of course, being in the Hudson Valley, the history of environmental stewardship and all the agriculture, and being interested in working with farmers, which was just something I was kind of excited about the prospect of and seeing how I could make it make sense.
Yeah.
And then Lost Arts came directly out of that, which is the film screening, which gives voice to these farmers in a really aesthetic way. Like instead of just creating a documentary that would make me feel really sad when I watch it on Netflix, this is like a really immersive, beautiful experience that we wanted people to have to come here to watch.
Hey, who there?
And this is like the consistent juxtaposition of like the gym people and the art. And when they come in the art center, it's very fun. It's an opportunity to have these really kind of maybe politically charged at this moment conversations with people that might not otherwise be seeking it out, which has been an exciting part of having it here. And then when we have had events, we brought in farmers and vendors into the food hall, and then you have like this direct meeting of people that are coming in to get Sloop beer, and then the people that are coming in to see the art, and then get like kind of swooped into seeing the film.